Project Z Garage. Today we're working on the Q3 and we're replacing the passenger side engine mount. So right here on the passenger side, you can see the engine mount is sitting here. I think it's about 5 bolts, if you can see there, that we need to remove. We're gonna have to support the engine, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the undertray off and we're gonna put a jack under there. I think that's what everyone pretty much would have, a jack. We also have the crossbar that goes across the engine that we can look for some pickup points. On this motor there is a few when you take the engine cover off. Let's see if we can get a view of that. There we go. So if you look here, we got an engine pickup point here and an engine pickup point there. So we can use that brace that we have on top and hook the chains to that to hold it up. But seeing that this one is a relatively easy spot to get to, I think just by supporting the bottom of the motor, we'll put a piece of wood with the jack and just, you know, jack slightly up on the oil pan, just so that we can keep the weight of the motor off of the engine mount. I think we can get that out and back in with no problem. Another thing I would like to make clear is that these bolts are, most of them are stretch bolts, so they all will have to get replaced. So we went to FCP Euro and we picked up the engine mounts and the bolts. As you can see there, we have a bunch of bolts because we're going to be doing a couple of videos. One for the dog bone mount, the passenger side mount, and this is the driver side. I believe this is also the transmission slash engine mount, or just a transmission mount, but today we're focusing on the passenger side engine mount. So let's get to it. Let's take the under tray off and get that situated so we can start working on this. Alright guys, so it's a little tight in here. We're gonna need a T. Alright guys, so we're gonna need a T25, that's star, and a T45 to take out these big nuts back here to get this under tray off. So we're gonna start taking out, looks like we have some flathead screws here that we can take out too, and the T25's in the front. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3 in the front here, and then some along the sides and those big ones in the back. So let's start getting to that and get those done. And it's a good idea to wear some eye protection because all the dirt and dust that collects in this tray can end up in your eyes, and you don't want that. So also, you should get a magnetic tray to hold all these screws so you don't lose them. So we're gonna work on doing that. You use a Phillips head or a flathead to get these out. These are like, looks like quarter turns or those out. Alright guys, so we got the under tray off. Now we're gonna get the jack under here with a block of wood so that we can jack up on the oil pan here and give it some support. Alright guys, so we have a 13 millimeter bolt here. We've got, I believe these are 16 millimeter, and then the big ones on the engine, and the part that hooks to the engine is an 18 millimeter. So now that the engine is supported from underneath, we're gonna start taking these bolts off and getting this mount out of here. Oh, these are on good. Yeah, we might have to get the breaker bar on that one. Alright guys, we're breaking out the big guns here because that was pretty tight. We don't want to damage our sockets or our ratchet. So we got a 1/2 inch to an 18 millimeter, and we're just gonna take it easy, and voila, leverage. It's amazing. Okay, let's get break the one in the back loose. This is not ratcheting, but it's alright. Now we can switch over to the ratchet. Alright, so this should be loose now. Get that up. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's already broken, or it's cracked. So definitely needed to be replaced. We've got our new one that we're gonna slide in there. Nice and easy like. Alright guys, we're getting there little by little. The engine moved a little, so we're trying to get it back where it needs to be. I'm thinking I want to get the bolts that are in the chassis done first. This way that's kind of lined up where the engine needs to be, and then what we'll do is we'll we can move the motor around to kind of fit where it needs to go. So let's see if way I can get this lined up exactly where it needs to be. Looks like I just had it. Alright guys, so we use the jack to kind of move everything around. I don't have the bolts, I just place the bolts with my hand and, you know, the socket just to get it situated. Try to line these up as best as you can before you try to screw the bolts in. The last thing you want to do is cross thread these bolts. So what I like to do is just, if I can start the bolt and then move the motor around a little bit to get it into the position, I would definitely look at where the outline of where the old mount was and try to line it up exactly where that was. That's what we did here. And I kind of like lowered the jack and raised the jack until I got it to exactly where I think it needs to be. So now that I have everything kind of where I want it to be, I'm gonna get it down to where it's snug, and then we'll start torquing it and then stretching the bolts. So remember, this was a, okay, let me get this right. This is a 13 millimeter. This bolt here on the two sides on the chassis side are 16s, and the one that's connected to the motor are 18 millimeter bolts. These are all brand new bolts that we got from FCP, FCP Euro. And yeah, so let me just snug them up, and then we'll go to the manual and see what the torque specs need to be on these. So for the 18s, let's snug the 18s up first. And you shouldn't have much resistance on these right now. And I like to do them little at a time, so do the front and do the back. Like, it's perfectly lined up where it needs to be right now. Hit this side. So that's snug. Put the back one. Snug. Now we have the 16 millimeter. Now we'll snug these up. Those look good. And then we have our 13 millimeter here. We'll snug this one up. Alright guys, let's go over the torque specs that I found for this mount. So this bolt right here, this is the 13 millimeter. This one is 20 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. So that means once you get to 20 Newton meters, mark it and then rotate it 90 degrees. The two bolts here are 40 Newton meters plus 90 degrees turn, 90 degrees further. So once we hit 40 Newton meters, we'll mark them and then turn them another 90 degrees. And then the two that are on the engine mount over here, well, this is the whole engine mount, but the two that are on the engine side, those are the 18 millimeter bolts. Those are 60 Newton meters and then 90 degrees further. So we'll start working on that and getting this engine mount fully installed. All right guys, so now the first one here, we're going to use our torque wrench. I got this on Amazon. I'll put one of our affiliate links to this so that you guys can get it if you're interested. We're going to set this to 20 Newton meters. I like to kind of sneak up on it just to be sure that we're right, because you never know. So I set this to, right now I'm at, what are we at? 18.1 Newton meters, if I'm reading that correctly. And I just want to make sure that we get that click. So going. All right, there we go. So that's 18 Newton meters right there. And then we're gonna, the next one's gonna be 20 Newton meters. So we're gonna go up to 20 Newton meters. Hit that. So that's 20 Newton meters. And what we're gonna do is take a Sharpie, or I mean, they make special markers to mark bolts, but we're only using it to show us where 90 degrees, to kind of have a location that we can see when we're turning the bolt, so that we get to that 90 degrees, that extra 90 degrees it's looking for. So I'm just going to put a mark right here, like that. Come back with our regular ratchet wrench, and then we can do the extra amount. So we're almost there. Voila. So we got 20 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. Now we will start working on the ones for on the chassis side, or on the frame side. Those are going to be 40 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. Alright guys, so we're going to tighten these two to 40 Newton meters. So let's get that done. Oh. That is 40 Newton meters. Always like to be sure. And then what we are going to do is, while we're at it, let's tighten the two over here to 60 Newton meters. Feels good. All right, now we're going to mark them and then turn them another 90 degrees. This one's a little hard. So you know what? I'll put this one in the front. That, so that's easy to see. I think that's pretty good. Let's get the last one back here. on this one, and I think we are good. Alright guys, just so I can show you what it looks like. So 90 degrees, that's the plus 90 degrees. The front one there, we went from there to there. The back one, you can kind of see 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and 90 degrees. And that pretty much does it for this mount. Alright guys, I think we are going to call it quits because the battery on this is about to die. In the next video, we're going to continue working on changing out the mounts. The next one is going to be the dog mount. So stay tuned. If you like the video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe so that we can grow the channel, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.